welcome to Let's Get Phygital episode 7. Tonight, wherever you are, we are going to be talking about an upcoming NFT fight night in 2024 that I am planning to run with Matt No-Tap Tour. So Matt and I are both combat sports promoters over here in New Zealand, and we have a lot of experience in combat sports here arena. So we've been discussing this. I know there has been people who've talked about doing this sort of event and activity. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We are going to set up a fight night in 2024. Myself, Matt Tor, we are going to set that up, and we're going to run something. And I've actually invited Matt along today. I know he's busy today. He's got a kids prize giving at his gym, but he is going to be joining us at some stage tonight. And we're going to talk about this fight night that we're going to set up in NFTs. But I'd quite like to hear from some people. Who would you most like to give a hiding within the Web3 space? If you could just, get someone in the ring and beat the shit out of them, who would that be? Or maybe get beat up by that person. You never know. It might not work out for you. You might end up getting beaten up. But that's the risk we run. But this could definitely be quite fun, because the concept behind setting up a fight night in 2024 in either Vegas or California is to do it for charity purposes. And let me just get in touch with Matt, and we'll get him along. Because we could do something really, really awesome. Okay. I'm just messaging him at the moment because he is scheduled to come to this space, have a chat to us. Welcome, Aaron. Welcome, Killer AK. We got Stabber here. We got Fractal Frog. If you want to come up and have a chat, who would you most like to get in the cage or the ring? Would you go for the ring or the cage? What style of fighting would you prefer if you were going to do an NFT fight? We are here and live, Matt. Who would you want to fight? What project would you want to represent? What project would you represent, and what project would you love to whip their ass? I could think of a few projects, but hey, let's get talking about it. So I'll tell you a little bit about my background in combat sports promotions. So I've been a lifelong martial arts enthusiast. I learned my martial arts from the best: Bruce Lee, Fists of Fury, Enter the Dragon. That's where I did my initial martial arts training. I then moved on to WWE down the beach, doing clotheslines and suplexes down the beach with my mates, WWE. So I've been a lifelong martial artist, but started doing traditional martial arts when I was probably, how old was I? Maybe like 8 or 9. I started doing karate, did that for a couple of years. And boy, am I glad I did, because, I got bullied when I moved over to Australia. And it's fair to say I opened a can of whoop ass on quite a few Australian kids. I did lose a couple. That's all right. That's the way it goes in those gigs. But I've always loved martial arts, and I've always loved training in martial arts. But when I left the military and I went and started getting back into martial arts through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was training at City Kickboxing, and I had all of these visions. Oh my God, I'm going to go to Masters Worlds, and I'm going to go win a gold medal, because it's just the way I am. I want to be the best at everything every time I do it. But it became very apparent to me that my body was falling to pieces, and I need to find another avenue to be involved in the sport. And so I had a business plan and an idea to start MMA. an MMA promotion, because I saw that there's only like 2-3 legitimate MMA promotions in New Zealand. I thought, yeah, there's a gap there, and the whole idea for me was I started a promotion called Mana Championship. There wasn't at the time any submission grappling running at the time, so I ran a whole bunch of tournaments. We ended up becoming the biggest submission grappling tournament. Did a couple of pay-per-views, and really the whole idea behind that was just like establishing a brand with a view to then purchasing a cage and getting into MMA. Then that was all running. Then COVID happened. The combat sports shut down for that period, and then I started Dogface Army NFT, and it became, glaringly obvious to me that it wasn't going to be possible to get the job here, get it done, and try and build up this combat sports promotion at the level that I wanted to. And combat sports is outside of hanging out with you guys and being part of the Dogface crew and my family. It's truly like the only other thing that I'm really, really passionate about in life. So that's a little bit about my combat sports background. I am very experienced, obviously, in business, and I know a fair bit. A lot of people think this about me in general, that I'm full of shit. Well, you might think that to like get shit done, and then all of a sudden you're at an NFT fight night and go, oh, fuck, he wasn't full of shit. These guys actually do what they say they're going to do. So anyway, I've bought in after that rant, just waiting for a few people to get in. I've bought in Matt Notap, who has 10 times the experience of me as far as combat sports promotion and experience. He runs his own MMA gym in Dunedin. He has a fight record. He's been involved with the UFC. He's the vice president of New Zealand MMA. He's well respected, like globally, literally globally, for the work that he does advocating for MMA around the world. And he's trained, been alongside, all of the best that you can think of. So welcome to the show today, Matt. Thanks for coming along as our guest co-host. Great to have you here.
Oh, Fleece, thank you very much for your kind words. And yeah, look, I always love talking about my two favourite things, NFTs and MMA. So we all find each other. We all find these good people in these spaces, and we gravitate and hold on to each other. So always love hearing your story too, Fleece. Love the way that we found each other here in Web3, as well as obviously knowing each other in Web2 as well. So yeah, it's been a really cool journey, and looking forward to obviously more of the journey to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, could you just fill the listeners in on your your background in fight sports and combat sports promotion? Because we have been discussing essentially tying this event into one of the large NFT events, perhaps Vegas or even LA over in California. And building this event up. So perhaps if you could just share about your background and experience, and also just some of the networks you have into those two regions around essentially making this realistic.
Yeah, thanks, Fleece. Well, look, we started promoting back in 2013. We decided we were going to start having shows here in New Zealand. I'd been around the world with my fight career, and when I was in the UK, I was lucky enough to find these two gentlemen, Dave O'Donnell and Andy Gear, and they had a small wee gym, and I started training there. What I didn't realise was they also had the biggest promotion in the UK, Cage Rage. So it really was a blessing being able to learn from those two guys, and they were showing us sort of how things work, how they would pay the fighters and the systems and all the different things, but we would be out there fighting for them as well. So after seeing how things happen on a big stage and a big setup, we thought New Zealand needs this, especially for MMA. And so we started off trying to do things a bit differently, not trying to make money off the shows, but trying to make the fighters feel good, trying to pick the best matchups that we could get. And at the time, there was a bit of friction between clubs as well. So just trying to get some of these matches to happen was a hard task. So that was our goal. And yeah, 68 shows later, here we are.
Wow, 68 shows. That's a lot of shows. You also there's a program called over here, and I guess I signed up for this program. It's called Winter Warriors, and you do essentially a 20-week training camp, and at the end of the training camp, you have an MMA fight. Now, mine got disrupted by COVID about 12 weeks into the training camp, but you were actually, and that's a multi-million-dollar business that ended up being sold. You actually were friends with the founder and had the same idea and are running a similar concept where you are. Could you just fill everybody in on your concept and what's happening like of late?
Yeah, so back in, I think it was around 2014 or 2015, we had a lady come over from Australia and she wanted to just watch. She was a friend of one of the gym owners, and she just wanted to, she'd heard we'd started an MMA gym up and wanted to see some of the techniques and how we were running things. And she said she was going back to Australia and looking to move into that circle as well. So yeah, she came over and then she ended up calling back a wee bit later and saying, "Hey, I'm involved with this camp over here. It's called Whip to Warrior. It's for first timers. Are you interested?" In that time, we were already planning something similar. We were looking at transforming our gym, having a hostel and having people stay there and filming the whole thing. It was around the time of the Ultimate Fighter and the success that they were having. So we knew that we couldn't get that sort of pedigree of fighters in New Zealand, being a lot smaller. So we thought about just filming reality TV and just getting people in off the streets. And we'd planned out a 10-week syllabus and started running with it. And anyway, we had a phone call from the actual owner of Winter Warrior, and he was in the end trying to sell us his product. And we were saying, "Oh man, we've got this one started and it's 10 weeks." And yeah, he wished us all the best. And we carried on doing our thing. Now, quite some time later, about 5 or 6 years later, this man became the president of the Australian Mixed Martial Arts Federation, and with myself being the vice president from New Zealand, we were just about speaking every second day, traveling around to the Middle East a couple of times a year, going over to Australia, hosting each other's tournaments and becoming great friends. So, yeah, he's since sold the business, but yeah, we've been running for, this is our 10th year coming up next year, and it's been a really awesome experience for me to see people come in from everyday walks of life. They're so shy and timid when they come to an MMA gym, and then afterwards, when you see them walking out to have their fights, it's their moment, and you know they've done all the hard work, and it just makes me so proud seeing that they're totally different people by the end of the journey. So, yeah, I love seeing the benefits that they get out of it. As for a gym, like my gym has great benefits from hosting these things because once these guys tick this off their bucket list, a lot of them want to carry on. So I end up signing up members, and the shows end up being pretty much bigger than my pro shows because they're selling it to their friends, their family, their workmates. They're talking about their whole 12-week experience the whole time. So it's a lot of self promotion. And yeah, it's a really good thing just for gyms, for people in general, and even for the cities that are hosting these events. It's always a real feel good vibe, and we always make sure that there's a charity we're giving a portion of the proceeds to, and making sure that yeah, that we're doing the right thing by our community by doing that. So yeah, we're looking at that model going to a few different parts now. Dan Hooker, when he had his gym, he adopted it, and they had a great time with the bucket list. So yeah, I think it's time to spread it around a wee bit more. We've just finished our last show, and it was one of the biggest shows I've ever had. And so I thought I'll put some registrations in and run it a bit earlier next year. And yeah, I've had to stop it because we've had so many registrations. It's the biggest one ever. So I'm looking forward to running that, and also yeah, having a crack at Australia next year too.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, congratulations on that. Um, so yeah, that's a lot of a lot of history and pedigree and learning of training all of those people. So we've been discussing this. I came to you right, and I said, "Hey, look, I'm heading over to the States. I'm going to be heading over there. We're going to do do this research around the mining farm, We're gonna, go shoot this documentary and capture footage. And the discussions came up around, hey man, like we're both combat sports promoters. We're both planning to head over and perhaps go on to this NFT circuit where we got NYC and Basel, and then you got Vegas, and you got LA and VCon and all that shit. It was like, why don't we run a, essentially a NFT fight night on that in conjunction in that same location on that weekend. Then we started talking about matchups, and that's probably a little bit difficult to get guys matched up in MMA. So it's probably going to be more along the lines of boxing or something along those lines because it's people can just train and turn up. But maybe you could just, yeah, like just based on our initial conversations, your thoughts on it, and also just some of your networks over into the United States. And yeah, perhaps after that, Vince, I saw you just muted off there. I'll hand it over to you after that once Matt's filled us in on that.
Yeah, well, look, I think the biggest thing is, Fleece, when you're promoting in cities, is making sure that you've got all your paperwork and all your boxes ticked off. So, having a sanctioning body that will govern the event, and also finding out the legislation and the laws in the place you're going to promote in. So, there's definitely licensing and things that you're going to have to apply for, or there's promoters that you could talk to about the event and having them run it for you, which for me would probably be the easier option. But doesn't mean the first one's not possible either. But yeah, it does take a bit of time to cut through the red tape and get all your licenses sorted out. Uh, and of course, depending on what state you're in, I know the Nevada State Athletic Commission, they're pretty good at actually passing stuff pretty quickly for fighters. But for promoters, it takes a bit of time and a bit of proven history. So um, yeah, definitely doable. The one thing I do know is, yeah, there are definitely promoters around that we could talk to that I've got relationships with just over the years from fights and also from world tournaments and stuff where a lot of the American team coaches they've got other different roles back over and in their hometown. So yeah, I've got a good friend in Las Vegas that sanctions a lot of the boxing fights over there. And yeah, he's come out to New Zealand and had a great time over here, and I could definitely pick his brain on what would be needed to do something like that in Vegas. But yeah, also seeing some of my friends that are promoting MMA and saying, "Hey guys, what do we need to do to have this event on this time, and could you help us with it?"
Exciting. Vince.
Yeah, I would imagine, Matt, it's kind of similar to the realm of music is that I'm in. Is even though the world seems so big, the circles seem so small. Do you find that to be the case within that realm as well? That it's really about networking inside there as much as you can with a few key people, and them leading to those opportunities, like you said, connecting with getting to the right people. And it seems to be that way with a lot of things in life. Don't you think it's really getting into that inner circle that sometimes is breaking through is the most challenging aspect, isn't it? It's getting by the gatekeepers.
Yeah, 100%, Vincent. And I guess, people that have been doing this for their job, and that's their bread and butter, aren't just going to want to share this very easily to anyone, sort of thing. So, I guess definitely having a bond and a relationship. I know one thing, being in the sport for sort of 23 years now, people that were fighting 23 years ago, or at least involved in the sport and still in the sport now, we will definitely have contacts, several, if not more. Doesn't matter where in the world you are. So we're lucky with this sport being so new as well.
Yeah, it's the kind of that the evolution, where the fighters now become some of the management, promotions, coordinators, things like that, right? Now, do you find that due to some of that history, is that history, if there was any bad blood, has kind of been squashed, and everybody's kind of looking to work together and coordinate like that?
But yeah, 100%. And, I think there's always going to be people that don't always agree with other people, or people that do wrong by others. And, depending on what the situation is, some come back, some people don't, a bit like Web3. But the one thing is, we do know in our industry is the real ones that are there for the right intentions and right reasons. Yeah, we always want to try and find them as well, and work with them. That you can take people's words from certain gyms as a promoter. That if they tell you that's what the record is, that's what it is. However, there's other gyms might tell you a record, and you have to go and research it, because there's been some shonky times in the past. So yeah, you've just got to work out who's who, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like the Web3 space, doesn't it? It's almost like you have to, what we're facing in this Web3 space of um, almost policing our own in a way, right? And calling out the bad actors, labeling and letting other people know in the space that, hey, and I had some information that was told to me, couldn't validate it, wasn't correct. You be cautious, working with this individual or whatnot. So yeah, I know we've had this discussion about the Web3 space, and I'm sure we do the same thing, even in the music industry, right? It's you work with a promoter and they don't end up paying you. The DJs start to talk, and then you would hope that any of the DJs and the artists would band together and say, well, hey, I just got hit up by this promoter to work this gig. Should I take it? And everybody's like, fuck no, man. Like, screw him. He's not going to pay you, right? Don't work with him, and I'm sure as big as, like I said, as big as the world is, people talk, right? And the real ones will start gravitating, pulling together, to work together for the success of the whole industry, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly it, brother. That's pretty much nail on the head. Yeah, it's by word of mouth and by people that you can trust. And, end of the day, yeah, contracts and all that sort of stuff are great for keeping things legit. But there's people I know in this world that I don't need any contracts for. And, they're the ones that I know that I trust implicitly. And yeah, it's just one of those things where the the people with the right intentions, you can find out pretty quickly. There are some that are good at acting that might hide it for a while, but yeah, there's always situations where you can find out people's real intentions.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that's one of the most um, what I want to say, sought after character traits is just authenticity when it comes to doing business. Period. Mark, I do see that Staba's got his hand up. I'm going to pass the mic over to Staba real quick. Staba.
Well, hey guys, so it's my actual fist, mate. I'm fucking pumped as fuck with this saying, eh? But good to get up on the stage with you, Matt. Always a pleasure, bro, to have another Kiwi with strength above him. This fight thing, I might come out of fucking retirement. I'm quite keen to take on. Are we allowed to say names? I'd fucking love to call him up for the shot, mate. I think they used them. It starts with T. I can't remember how you say that name, but I'd love to bring him to the ring.
Mate, we got call outs. Have we got call outs already? Wow.
I'm fucking ready.
Yeah, I think what Stab is saying is he wants to have a fight with Titan,
100,
who
bro.
I'm pretty sure is an 18-year-old dweeb in his mum's basement. And yeah, I think you'd beat the shit out of him. But yeah, that's funny. But I mean, on the fight note, I think it'd be quite interesting, right? A fight night's always really interesting. You get cool rivalries. They had an event over here in New Zealand. It was called Fight for Life, and this is the model that I'm thinking of. And they used to get people in, and they'd have a theme. So it'd be like rugby against league, or it'd be celebrities against musicians or whatever. But the concept for this would be some sort of theme, project against project, or ETH against friggin' Solana. We know who would win that. Um, and with then raising charity to go towards veterans. And I know Matt's definitely down with the veteran cause, so it'd be something quite cool. But yeah, Roger that. Stabber, we've noted you down on the list, mate. Stabber and Titan Radio. Main event.
Yeah, well, the other option I was going to say too. Do they have like I don't know MMA as such, but do they have like a tag team where we could have one come in after the other? Because I might need a super sub. I could only last for about 30 seconds in the ring.
Steve, that's what people are paying good money for, brother. We're going to have to put some work in, I think.
Mark, I'm going to call out Suicidal then. I'm going to call out Gary, and we're going to have an old school WWE Andre the Giant versus Hornswoggle, the shortest wrestler in WWE. That'll be me and him. Let's go. Let's have some fun.
It has actually been done before, tag team MMA and tag team kickboxing, Muay Thai. I have seen it. Can be pretty brutal, but yeah, I think we're going to find it hard enough to get this over the line before adding in new gimmicks, guys. But yeah, who knows? Where there's a will, there's a way.
Amen to that. Uh-oh, here comes Gary. Here he comes.
A good time. I'm looking forward to that, Vince.
Think you can keep up with
yeah.
me? I can bounce off those ropes.
Yeah, I was going to say, just take it easy on me when you jump off the top ropes. I'd hate to get a backache. And you already know when someone small gets a hold of you and they get behind you and grab you on the back, it's kind of hard. I got long arms, but it's hard for me to get them off my back unless I just fall on my back. I think that's what I'd have to do to defend myself against you.
Hey, it's charity, man.
It's the Z. Do you guys say Z or Z? I know you guys don't speak English that well, but do you guys say Z or Z? Yeah, so it's the ZFC, the Zimmer Frame Fighting Championship. Main event, Paul Benvenuti, because he's old as shit. Yeah.
I was just going to say Suicidal. You'll have to be. Oh, I'm getting echo. Are you there?
Yeah. Mark echoing.
Right.
Uh-oh. We lose Stabba.
Well, it seemed like as soon as Mark muted off, then Stava dropped out. So I imagine he might be jumping back in. Be interesting to hear what he has to say.
Yeah. We'll give him a second. Go ahead, Stabba, if you're back.
I don't know if I'm echoing still, but hey, I was just going to say Suicidal guaranteed. We have to have some sort of armory locator so we can make sure you fellas that you are, especially you, mate, if you got no weapons on you, because I hate to win and then all of a sudden you shoot me.
Yeah, I don't like to lose. At the same time, I would refrain from shooting you. That's not allowed stateside, so you're good.
But perhaps we could talk about some matchups. Who are some famous people that who are some Web3 influencers that you'd like to see in there? Because as we announce this and it gets a bit popular, I think we will see people coming out of the woodwork, people who fancy themselves being able to fight. I think that dude, Shillin Villain, what's his name, Alex? He'd be a good dude to get in. I know a lot of people would love to watch him get the shit beaten out of him, for sure.
I'd like to see Brando.
Oh, we want to see Brando? I think Brando for sure. How heavy do you think Brando is?
Well, you can't.
I think he might be like 145 pounds wet.
He does look pretty small, eh?
Well, if you go off his voice, it'd be about a fucking. It'd be very little.
He looks maybe like what 160, 170 maybe, something like that.
Nah,
but I remember he put up a post about a fight night, right? I remember him putting a post up about a fight night, and there was quite a few people sort of coming in and saying they'd want to do it. So maybe we need to go find that post. I remember specifically Titan saying that he would, put him on the card. So I think there'll be a long queue of people trying to get that match up, for sure. There'll be no shortage of people. Yeah, Brando. I guess the higher up the food chain these guys are, right, the more haters they're going to have. So yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to rally behind it. We do it for a good cause. I'd love to see one of your bros, the Irishman, Matt, from
Yeah, Top Gun.
Top Gun, mate. That would be brilliant. Just to hear the after fight speech would be amazing.
Oh, mate, the build up to it will be amazing. Yeah, him and JP, they watched the last bucket list through Discord, and next thing you know, they've booked in for next year's one. They're going to come halfway across the world to do it. So I can't wait. And as much as we've joked about it, I do think they're pretty serious. So stranger things could happen, Fleece, and there's plenty of people I know that he'd love to scrap.
Well, he's Irish, so are we surprised? The Fighting Irish. They're known for it, wanting to have punch up. But what do you think? What do you think's a better location? Vegas? We got Mr. C's there, down there. He's is he here? No, he's not here. But Mr. C's, he's in Vegas. But we've got obviously a big contingent over in California. So we're talking about, I think NFT Vegas. What's in the middle of the year, and then Los Angeles hasn't been announced yet. But I know VCon is heading in that direction at that time. So yeah, what do you think? LA or Cali?
Yeah, I think probably. Yeah, either or, either or. I think those two time-wise will be better as well. Yeah, I mean, Vegas definitely has its all the glitz and glamour, but you pay Vegas prices for a lot of the places here. So I definitely think you'd have you'd be able to have a good event in either or those places. Definitely know people in both. So yeah, flip a coin, Fleece.
Yeah, literally, let's flip a coin. Sorry, Vince.
Yeah, no, I mean, when it comes to venue locations in the U.S., I mean, I'm obviously Vegas comes up there right at the top of that, but are there any other hot spots for these types of events? I'm trying to think of where I've seen them hosted, and obviously Vegas comes right to the top with the MMA, the boxing, and stuff like that when it comes to these types of events and venues. So, but where else in the U.S. do you see these popping up?
Well, I think Florida is also a fighting mecca. There's a lot of big gyms down in Florida. Yeah, obviously Vegas, but yeah, it seems to be like California, Florida, Vegas, but then also yeah, New York has quite a big fight scene as well with Madison Square Garden, obviously. But
Mm.
yeah, it's also tying it in to be in conjunction with an NFT event. So that's kind of like the tricky part. We want people to come to the NFT event and attend this at the same time and like book a corporate table where all of the Dogface team, all of the Bad Teds will be there, or the Doge X team. So that's the whole concept. You come, you support your fighter, pay a corporate price, you have a nice night, you get on the piss, you eat, and we make some money and we donate some proceeds to veterans. So yeah, my gut feeling is Vegas will be pretty expensive, but yeah, so maybe California is kind of my gut feeling.
Yeah, but the one thing, Fleece, I know, and this is obviously an extreme case, but when we were there for Fight Week, we were sharing the convention centre with the UFC. They had their sort of all their stalls and stuff happening for 3 days, and I know it was 50K a day they were charging for the air conditioning. So it's obviously a big place, but yeah, Vegas prices are pretty killer.
Hey, just while you're at it there, could you maybe fill the crew in on, because you've been involved in taking the New Zealand team to the because they have the Worlds, right, and they do it in Fight Week. They've done the IMAF Worlds and whatnot. Just what your experience has been like leading these young amateurs who go to to the worlds, and what happens. Yeah, maybe a lot of people don't understand what happens in the amateur fight scene and the pathway that people are taking to get to the UFC nowadays.
Yeah. So with IMAF, I know that it started off as a pretty small organisation, and we were lucky enough to be there from its inception, and then watch it grow into what it is now. So the very first World Championships were in 2014 in Las Vegas, and it started off, I think there was about 15 countries. The next year it grew, there was about 40 odd countries, and now it's up to 76 countries where they all bring teams of amateur fighters, so in all weight divisions. Pretty much you have the best of the best amateurs all there in the one place. Usually it's a 5-day tournament, and the most that there'll be in a bracket is 36. So it's the top 36 in the world, and then they fight down until there's just 2 at the end. And you have your finalists. So pretty intense tournament, and obviously with the amount of athletes, there's sometimes over 600-700 athletes at these tournaments too. So it really is a mecca for MMA. They have 3 cages going at once constantly for a whole day. You start at 6 a.m. With the weigh-ins, and then you get home at about 9 o'clock at night. So it's definitely one of those things where you're just fully immersed in it, and you can see some great talent from all around the world. And we go to these tournaments every year. Basically the people we've met and the friends I've made through that, it's just been priceless.
Leo, what do you got, brother?
The one thing that my cousin goes through a lot is Atlantic City and Foxwoods, Connecticut.
Sorry, mate, you went a bit muffled there. Could you say that again, please?
Yeah, the one place that my cousin goes to a lot is Foxwoods in Connecticut and Atlantic City.
Oh, Atlantic City.
Have you do you know much about the fight scene there, Leo? Have you attended fights, or are you a fight fan?
No, but my uncle is huge.
Who's your uncle?
Um, his Dana's uncle Larry White. He's dead now, but he was.
Is that how you related to Dana?
Yeah, Dana's
Dana's
dad.
dad.
His brother
His
is my
brother
uncle.
is my uncle.
Ah, interesting.
And then
And then
when he had
when he had his
Dana's dad had his motorcycle accident, Larry brought him to California to a nursing home, and that's where Dana's dad died.
Wow, small world. That's interesting. Um, yeah, it's but yeah, we'll be busy doing a bunch of research around venues and locations, but we're starting off those conversations. And then when I come over in April, I'll be able to go and visit places and just get confirmation on everything. I think it's we'll start reaching out for those who are listening. If you're interested in participating in an NFT fight night, for sure reach out. In whatever regard, if you want to have get matched up or help out, it'll definitely be cool. And I think it's going to raise a lot of awareness for obviously for our ecosystem, Dogface Labs, but also what Matt's doing. Matt's the pilot of Dogex. So yeah, there's the public relations side of it as well, and we're going to do some awesome positive stuff for veterans. But great to see IB Token on the stage. Good to see you. What's up?
Hey, brother.
Just hanging out. How's it going, Matt? Yeah, I saw Matt in this space, and his community has been very generous to me. So I always like to pull up and maybe be there for support for Matt in case he needs something. So just hanging out, listening.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Mark, I'm going to put in my request now with Matt and the event. I want to work the corner. I want to do the cuts, the icing, and all that with my sports medicine degree. I'm right there. I want to stuff some nose tampons up in there to stop the nose bleeding. Yeah, to have a freaking great time.
Outstanding, Vince. Definitely an important job, and some of those cut men, they get paid good money because they can be the difference in carrying on and winning a fight or being stopped there.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of working some wrestling tournaments here in the U.S. and massive tournaments where you've got 600 athletes all competing, like 12 mats running for like 3 days on these tournaments, and it literally is a matter of time and getting these things addressed quickly to keep these athletes out there on the mat and keeping it clean. So I know how it goes.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's all part of the logistics, eh? And I think that's yeah. When I was running my events, we'd always have physios and medics on site, and having the likes yourself. I know Paul's obviously a former paramedic, but yeah, just getting all that compliance and ticking all the correct boxes, I think, is why it's a realistic thing to pull off. But Stabber, you got another call out. You can have two fights in one night. Shit, mate.
No. I'm just gonna. Mark's actually had the blessing of actually meeting me in real life, and he'd probably already know I'm struggling to get up to fitness. But Matt, being a trainer, what sort of skills do I need to start pushing myself up to that cage time?
Well, I think, Stabber, probably a bit more arm exercises and just lifting the old bear to mouth is probably a good start there, brother. Um, and I think maybe a bit of cardio, a couple of raw eggs in the morning like Rocky, but mindset's important. When we get to our age and our body doesn't quite perform like it used to, we've got to rely on a strong mindset, brother. That's what I can suggest. But no, on a serious note, I mean, yeah, I do think we are going to have to work out how we would take applications to make sure that we have got fair and even matchups. So, there definitely has to be some sort of screening process, I think, Fleece, for this.
So that's purely for safety, right? We just want to make sure that we don't have a mismatch and someone turns up and Stabber knocks them out in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, yeah, we need to make sure they know about Stabber's background. We all know about Stabber in South Auckland, and not many other people might know about the history of the Stabber.
Love it, love it.
That's okay.
I think it's of course it's possible though, right? You see, I think there was very recently. Did anyone see the crypto fight night? Anyone see that? It was a crypto fight night, I think.
I was in a space last night, and there was some guys talking about competing in it.
Yeah, I think it was was it Trading Lord? I mean, I just saw a couple of posts about it, but I think yeah, I think it was I mean, it's always entertaining watching people punch other people.
Yeah, so I think with this sort of fight night, Fleece, if it's tied into an NFT convention and you've got community members fighting in the actual tournament, that'll sell itself. And it's just really now starting to build a card up, get a location, get it all licensed off, and then yeah, we're into it. We're selling tickets.
Beautiful. What do you? I mean, probably our American friends here might know, but what do you know about the American Indian reservations? Do you think that's an option for us?
Uh, it definitely is an option, but I think that's when you get that next level of promotion. When you're looking at 10K plus crowds. I think for this one, it's definitely quite a niche market. And yeah, I mean, anything within the 1,000 meters squared would be a good start. How many do you think would be coming?
Well, how many fights do you want to have in a night, right? It's like, I mean, you know, when you have a corporate fight night for each fighter, how many tables on average would get booked? Because it's essentially their friends and family, right? And for this, it would be friends, family, and people in their NFT community. What do you reckon's the average per fighter tables?
Uh, so it's wee bit different just because a lot of these ones from the hometowns will always have that advantage over the ones traveling. With this sort of event, most will be traveling to this, so it will really sort of be something that will be, I guess, you'll be capturing the market of those that are already going to be there around it, and plus add on a few more extras for those that want to watch the fight as well. So I would say if everyone was able to sell 2 tables would be a great start. And I've never been to any of these NFT conventions, so I'm not quite sure the numbers at these parties that they get there. Would they be in the hundreds or in the thousands?
Yeah, let's get some people up. Who's been to the NFT conventions? We haven't. I know Sam went last year. I'll invite him up. Mr. C's. I'm not sure who has attended a major NFT event and seen what the vibe is and what's going on there. Sam might be able to come up, but I'm not sure. I know they are attended by thousands of people, and people do bowl up.
I've not been to one yet myself, so I'm not sure I could speak on that. I know, yeah, like you said, if Sam is able to come up, I know he's been to one of those. I think he went to the NFT NYSC, I believe, didn't he? I think he went to that one. I know we've got one coming up in Detroit too, but I'm not sure if that's going to be big enough to do anything with, Matt.
Yeah, Sam went to NYC and he had a fight with the friggin' sidewalk. I remember it. I saw the photos. And hurt himself quite badly, actually, Sam. But yeah, maybe he could come out if he's available. If you're available, Sam. If not, that's no problem. But let's have a look at the attendance. Like the big ones, right? What NYC? That's a bit early. It's in April. Then we've got generally LA is around like September, October. So that's more probably the time frame we're looking at, right? Is it's close to a full year away. Just give yourself a lot of time. To
What
yeah.
about Miami, Mark?
Oh yeah, I think Miami would be awesome. When's Miami? When's NFT Miami?
I have to see what the dates are on that, but I'm pretty sure they did in Miami, and that would be a dope spot to do it too, especially for the ring girls.
Yeah, just let me do a little bit of searching in the dates. I did have the dates before, but I haven't got it in front of me. But let me do a bit of searching um, on the dates. How many fights do you think we need to make this worthwhile, Matt, to have a fight night?
Uh, Minimum of 12 for something like this. But they don't all have to be crypto fights. You can pad it up with some real fights as well. I guess that's what we'd have to work out is whether we're going to have this as kind of like an undercard and have a main draw fight, or whether it's going to be all crypto and have it as a fun night. Yeah, depends how we're going to how we want to market it.
Looks like they did the Miami one around the March 31st to April 2nd weekend in 23. So if they look to do it at the same time frame, they would look to be at the end of March, beginning of April. Maybe we get Mark Cuban to come out and do it.
Sorry, guys, I
Well,
had a phone call just come through.
no worries. Yeah, I think who are the known fighters within the NFT space? There's like what Keith Berry. He's like a fighter, I believe. it would be cool to have like an MMA main event with some legit fighters. That would be quite cool.
Yeah, he's definitely a legit fighter, and based over there loves Web3. So, he definitely could be a man worth approaching, finding him a matchup as well. Yeah, that's there's so many things that can come out of this, really. And it's interesting, Fleece, just after a quick chat and how it's already growing and starting to grow momentum.
Absolutely. Like this is the first space, of course, we're doing about it, but every now and then we'll slide one in and we'll put a few posts out. We'll keep talking about it, and we'll do a little bit of outreach, and I'm sure we'll be able to get some. All we got to do is just get one, just a bunch, get some rivalries between some projects, fun rivalries, not like crazy beef, and should be. I think it should all be in good and in good spirits, and just have some sort of fun activity. Because what's a little pain between friends? It's always a good time.
Yeah, Fleece, the other thing I'm thinking too, it's probably worthwhile reaching out to the organisers of these events, of the NFT events, and saying, "Hey guys, we want to do this." Yeah, maybe getting some help from them and seeing if they can help get it out to the communities that are already involved, and then we can start approaching them, knowing that they're going to be there already. Seeing if they want to put forward someone for it. Having some cool prizes up for grabs too. I think this could be a really fun thing.
I can see founder versus founder. Mark's already in training at the moment. He's trying to get down his weight, so you'll be ready to go, bro.
I just need to find a real easy opponent who can't fight, and I'm down.
I think that's what every person's going to be thinking when we ask them.
Yeah. But yeah, sure. If I have to take one for the team, sure, count me in.
Maybe people could put the
As long as it's 2 minute rounds,
up.
Matt. Please.
The old days, people used to race for pink slips. Maybe they could scrap for PFP.
Oh yeah, you reckon? So we put NFTs on the line. That's not bad.
Something like that.
What about the loser has to buy like an ETH worth of NFTs in the other founder's collection, or fucking something like that? Yeah, that would be quite funny.
There we go.
Putting some stakes on it. Yeah, that would be pretty entertaining.
I like that. That way, it gets helps the project look better in the end. There's volume associated with it, right? It's a win-win for both sides, isn't it? Essentially.
Sure is. Be interesting to see how it played out like that. Actually, traditionally, how prize fighting begins is one party puts up a purse and the other party matches it, and the winner takes all. So, it's been the formula for a long time.
I didn't know that. That's kind of interesting. But IB Token, have you got any particular fights or projects or thoughts on what you'd like to see on that night? Or anybody?
Well,
What about you, Matt?
yeah, there's plenty of different people in the space where feel that beef sort of happening, and then you think it's almost going to head that way, and then it doesn't. Maybe if we could provide that platform, it might happen.
Yeah. Well, the other challenge with founders is most of them aren't doxed. So you got quite a small market there of people who are prepared to dox. So most of them are cowards outside the ring. So I'm sure they're definitely cowards inside.
Well, they only have to show their chin anyway, because that's all you really want to knock out.
So they can wear a mask, you reckon?
You only got to
We can't forget about the females, right?
Hell yeah. Who doesn't love a girl fight?
They fight dirty, man.
We've definitely got a female in the bad Teds that's keen to throw down.
Well, we've got isn't H a bit of a fighter too, Mark?
Yeah, she's trained at Tiger Muay Thai, and yeah, she's been done training camps over in Thailand. Yeah, yeah, she would definitely. I think she'd deal to a few dudes in this space, if I'm honest.
Awesome. I wonder when she was there. I've been through a few camps here. I love that place.
Yeah, that's a good point. Where'd you go, Matt? You go to Tiger Muay Thai?
Yeah, so I've been to Thailand 12 times now. But I've spent 3 camps at Tiger. 3 camps at Tiger. I checked out AKA for a bit, but yeah, a lot of the time was at Fairtex before Tiger opened. I was mainly at Fairtex.
Nice. Yeah, I spent my 40th birthday over at Tiger. That's why I gave myself on my 40th birthday. I went and did it was like a 3-week camp over there and just trained and had fun. Got beaten up.
Who was that? Who was there? Was it Brian or Roger taking the classes?
Dude, honestly, I don't know. I just did. I just mainly attended the jiu-jitsu and just hitting pads.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I had a good friend over there. He was there for years, Brian Eberfeld. And another one was Roger Herter. He was the coach there too for a while.
Yeah. It's funny because I went over there with my wife and my daughter Mackenzie was young at the time, but I didn't know anyone. I just literally bowled up as a paying customer and just turned up to the sessions and did a couple a day. But I also went down the road. Was that? I think it might have been the. Yes, down the road. I went down there and did some sessions as well, and that was way better. Like you got treated way better than that Tiger. Like as soon as you got there, you had like 2 people putting your bloody, your wraps on, and you literally like your own trainer to yourself rather than kind of being in a class where it was just like a different vibe. I felt like that was like the VIP treatment, and it was way cheaper than Tiger.
Yeah, so they would have just been starting out in those days, and it was definitely Tiger had the market, and then when they came along, these other guys were definitely doing a great service. I think it was owned by an Australian too when it first came out. But yeah, Luke Jamo spent some time there, and he had a great time there. He thought it was fantastic too. I was walking past it each day. Didn't really check it out though, but yeah, I did definitely know what you're talking about there, Fleece.
Yeah, I think it was like Cyborg. That was where Cyborg trained, right? Was it the female Cyborg?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw her posters and stuff there, but yeah, that was a really good experience there. If I went back, which would be nice to, I'd rather go there than Tiger Muay Thai. Tiger was just like very corporate, and commercial. It felt.
Yeah, it still is. The Hickman brothers have opened up a place in Phuket called Bang Tao, and a lot of the fighters are going there for the real experience, I guess you'd say.
Is Alex now going there, and Kai, are they going to Bangtao or still going to Tiger? Is Brad over at Bangtao?
Yeah. All those guys have migrated over to Bang Tao now.
Well, there's the Alpha guys. If you want to go do some training in a fight camp over in Phuket, go to Bangtao or Phuket Talk Team. yeah, it's actually a really cool holiday. But I think just to I guess bring it back to the ecosystem, that's definitely the kind of thing we want to do with the retreat is giving people the ability to come in and hit pads, do boxing, self defense, jujitsu. Um, I mean, you know this, man, because you do it for like your life and career, but you'll never regret learning how to fight and use self defense. So yeah, I look forward to that when we can provide that utility at the retreat. We'll have to get you, Matt, to come and teach us all, bro.
Yeah, well, not even for the actual competitive side of things. It's more for the mental side of things where it becomes such a game and you start getting so intrigued and engrossed by it that you just want to keep learning more and more. And a lot of the stuff's so simple and you think, oh man, this is just common sense. And then you have stuff that's so technical and then you see people with a different style. It's just we describe it as like a tree. A tree has branches, and those branches have more branches and more branches, and there's leaves, and it's just never ending. So, yeah, once you start, guys, yeah, it'll get you.
Very addictive, right? Um, the thing I love about martial arts is like even now, like I'll go to the I'm gymming, trying to lose weight, losing weight, but even in the gym, you're still thinking about. I mean, you still mind's still overactive. It's like a very overactive mind. You're working, you're still fucking doing everything in your head, but when you do sparring or kickboxing or jujitsu and someone's literally trying to punch you in the face or strangle you, the only shit you're thinking about is how not to allow that to happen to you. So therefore, you're ironically, it's a lot more present. I'm a lot more present, and I get a better mental break out of that than going to the gym and just going on a treadmill. That's what I love about martial arts. It's fucking amazing. Um, so yeah, just to show martial arts to anybody who hasn't done martial arts training, get out there and do it. Um, yeah, what other benefits, Matt? I know we're going to wrap this up soon because we're probably going to wrap up everybody in the next few minutes, sort of like 3 or 4 minutes. Matt's actually got his end of year prize giving for his kids' classes. But if anyone does want to ask, a final question or suggest some, if you're a bit shy and you just want to suggest some call outs, write them below and we'll get some stuff in there. But Matt, yeah,
Yeah, look, I think the main benefits I find is that it's problem solving under pressure. Um, you've got to find solutions to the situation you're in, and you've got to do it in a split second. So you can do it by practicing different forms and knowing when to apply that to the situation. Some people have it naturally. You'll start learning how to control things like adrenaline dumps. Start learning how to breathe properly, and especially in pressure situations. And from there, mapping out a way to get out of it. So I think the benefits really transition over to all aspects of life once you work out how to be in a bad situation and know how to get out of it, plan your way to get out of it, then execute it. Yeah, you apply that to everyday life, and yeah, you've got a lot of a head start on the way that other people think in life. So I definitely stress that as one of the major benefits of all martial arts.
that's awesome, bro. Vince, have you should be there, brother? But have you got any final questions at all before we head off?
No, I mean, I go back to my days and when I was in college, and I actually studied a martial art for a little while. I actually took like, actually, funny enough, Mark, we were talking about different classes in college, and I actually took a judo class as part of a like, physical education in college. And I loved that so much. I actually went to a studio in my town that where large majority of the police officers, law enforcement went, and it was called Akururu Aikijitsu. So it was like a blend of some jujitsu and stuff, and a lot of joint locks and things like that. Obviously, that law enforcement used to control, but it also had a mixture of defensive kicking and punching and judo mixed in there. So. Um, even for me to pass one of my initial belts, I had to be able to toss my sensei, who is probably, I'm 5'4", and I think he was probably like 6'2", 6'4", 340 pounds. Like, he was a big dude. And I had to be able to use all technique to be able to get it done, right? So I actually I did enjoy it. I became the class guinea pig, as so to speak, because I was willing to get in there and mix it up and be involved in it. And it definitely does give you a sense of um, stability, because you know that you have the skill sets to defend yourself in situations, but it also comes with that responsibility of knowing that you turn around and you use that stuff, you better have a damn good reason for using it on somebody, because they're going to come back to you from a law perspective, right? And you start breaking somebody's elbow and wrist and shit like that. There's a certain amount of responsibility that comes with that. But um, hey, self-defense is self-defense, right? So but definitely there's a lot of good things to be taken from that, because there's a lot of discipline from it. Um, Even the weaponry aspect of it, defending against weapons, and I think that all that stuff is especially even more valuable in this particular day and age, um, as well. So, no questions for me. Just making that statement. I considered going back and doing some martial arts. Um, Even maybe some more spiritual aspected martial arts, just for the stress relief, the grounding, kind of just overall fitness involved with it as well. So yeah, that's my perspective on it.
That was beautiful. I definitely know that if you do get back into it, you'll feel those benefits for sure. And I also know, yeah, I have a student that's like yourself. He's built like you too, and I always have him coming in for demonstrations when they've got the new people, so that they can see proof in the technique. So yeah, you're that guy, my man. I'd love to see you in action.
I'm a little too old for that now, I think. But hey, if it's for a good cause, maybe I'll sacrifice the body.
Oh, no, that's awesome. Hey, I just want to give a shout out to the Teds that are coming here too. Fleece, I put it in the back channels. I was going to be here. IB Token came up on stage, but yeah, Grizz and Silent Bob and the Silent crew down there, and also Heart Polar Bears, and we've also got the founder, JP from Bad Teds. He's coming too. So shout out, guys. Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, for sure, Matt. I know you guys just got done with your, I think it was your 20-day space, and I was coming in occasionally and having a chat. And yeah, it was actually really good times in those spaces. And I think we found that common bond around just being a bit annoyed at some of the bad actors and just complete cunts in the space who've kind of ruined a lot of things for everybody and made everything quite suckful and actually basically damaged our industry. And we've made a commitment to each other that we're gonna stick tight. I know Matt, when available, you're gonna come in and help co-host, and we're gonna start blending in the communities, and we're also gonna start reaching out to other communities that we like and respect. And we've seen consistently doing the right thing throughout this bear market. And they're pretty easy to identify, guys, right? As like we see a lot of crap in here. So it's really cool to see everybody. Just so you guys know, and if anybody is, this is an open mic too, guys. Like, we do love anyone to come up and have a chat and have a contribution. But I've got some really cool guests coming. I've got Jim Ferguson. If you saw my podcast recently, he's a dude who's like an expert on the WEF, and he's got some opinions on the globalist movement, etc. So he's going to come and have a chat to us very shortly. I've also got an expert, Stoic.xmr, who's an expert on Monero and privacy tokens, who's going to come and have a chat to us and educate us all on privacy tokens. So what we're trying to do with the space is obviously you know, we're trying to attract good people and pull them away from all these dog shit spaces where there's just utter trash getting promoted constantly all the time. And we're trying to pull the really good, genuine people into our community, get good co-hosts, speakers, and learn some shit. And also just, have a bit of fun as well at the same time. So, same, man. Shout out to my community and our community here at Dogface Labs, Bad Teds. And I see a few different. I always see the Epic style coming in as well. And I recognize a lot of your guys' faces. To be honest. So let's all stay tight as we head into the bull run, because what I'm saying is a lot of these bad actors, now that we're starting to see things pick up again, they're just starting to come out of the woodwork. Fuck those guys. Fuck those guys who scammed everybody, and now they're just coming back in to scam everybody. Let's shout it from the rooftops, and let's stick together and have fun time in spaces, and not be afraid to share that. Anyway, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you, man. I know how extremely busy you are. You've got your kids bloody prize giving. When I say his kids, I mean his entire gym full of kids, not his literal kids, but a whole gym full of kids are about to do a prize giving in 15 minutes. And I appreciate you giving up your time, man. It's big time. Thank you.
All good, brother. Absolute pleasure. Keep up the great work, Fleece. Always in your corner. And I look forward to doing more of this, fam.
Hey, awesome. Cheers, Vince. Cheers, IB Token. Thank you to all our speakers. We will be back tomorrow around about the same time. 7 p.m. EST. We'll see everybody there. We get a cool, fun topic for tomorrow. Come in, have a chat, and get entertained and get educated. See everybody. Bye.